Okay, Eagle Nation, it took a long time, but we finally get to hear from the new OC and DC. Kellen talks about being in love with motion, and Fangio wants to practice harder. Plus, they had a lot more to say. That's not all. Jalen Carter did something crazy at practice that had Devin White shocked. But hold up, first you gotta see this.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah.
One minute later.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Tall Podcast, and today we got a lot to get into. But if you're excited about the culture being built early this offseason for the Philadelphia Eagles, do your boy a favor and hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So here was a topic on Sports Radio 94 WIP. Is Jalen Hurts' height a concern? They literally had a conversation about Jalen Hurts' height in year 4, because this is the first time I ever heard about it. Can you not think of something else to talk about? The dude's taller than Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, two players who won the Super Bowl. He's been to a Super Bowl, and again, we're talking about this in year 4. Let's have a little fun in the comment section. Tell me the next random topic Sports Radio 94 WIP will have about an Eagles player. Moving on to some actual football talk, Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore spoke to the media today. I only heard a little bit of it, so we'll go over more of it tomorrow. But Fangio was asked about the Eagles and how they practice the least and not that hard, and his answer was, well, you gotta make do with what you got, but I keep pushing for more. The reporter then said, did you push for more this offseason before coming here? And Vic answered by saying, I'll let Nick answer that. To me, that means yes. And again, he talked about there's a fine line. We're not talking two-a-days, but I do think we got to push the players a little more. Speaking of working harder, nobody likes to point out when A.J. Brown's at every practice, whether it's rookie mini camp, veteran stuff, front and centered, leading the way, setting a good example. We don't talk about that. Only when he's a little upset on the sideline because we're losing and things like that. Put some respect on A.J. Brown's name, who will be a Philadelphia Eagle all the way to 2029. As for Vic Fangio wanting to coach the Eagles in 2023, he said it's a fair assumption that he could have been the DC last year if the timeline of Jonathan Gannon's departure had been different, which could have made last year different, but it's over with. We got Vic Fangio now, and this defense is looking better than ever. I also want to point out, I heard some things he said about the linebacker position and how he has a special role for Zach Bond, but he also said he gave Howie opinions on the type of players he wanted, and he took it from there. We're not just talking about the draft where we went defensive heavy. Plus, remember, reports came out saying that one of his favorite players of the draft was our third-round pick at number 94, Jalen Hurts. This is also talking about free agency. Zach Bond, Oren Burks, Devin White. Shit just got serious with my big youngster, Jalen Carter. As we seen in the clip to start this episode, the Eagles are out there working every single day. I'm talking to free agents who got things to prove, and the Eagles who feel like they got something to prove after the collapse of last year. But for Devin White to say, stuff just got serious with my guy Jalen Carter, he had to do something freakish, or should I say, Jalen Carter-esque, to make a veteran like Devin White say, how he do that for whatever he did. Vic Fangio talking about getting Devin White playing like an all-pro. Shoot, Jalen Carter can end up being an all-pro D tackle in year 2 after some of the things we saw his rookie season when the coaching wasn't crazy bad. Let me know in the comment section what you think Jalen Carter did that shocked Devin White. Back to the Fangio linebacker talk, I do think there's going to be an open competition. So I'm interested to see where Jeremiah Trotter Jr. falls on this Eagles linebacker depth chart. Dave Zangaro talked with Clemson's DC Wes Goodman about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He said he's been a Mike linebacker since birth, just being around his dad, growing up around the linebacker position, just his instincts and ability to track and find the football is pretty special. Dave Zangaro also had his stats at Clemson, which he did fill up the stat sheet in 2 years as a starter with 177 tackles, 12 sacks, 28.5 tackles for loss, 4 interceptions, 2 pick six, 3 forced fumbles, and 10 pass breakups. You just can't make up them stats. We'll see how it translates to the NFL, but I'm interested to see what Fangio does fully at linebacker. Moving on to Kellen Moore in the offense, of course he spoke about Jalen Hurts, their conversations. He said he appreciates how he approaches the game, studies the game, and works at the game, and he can't wait to get to work with him. He believes Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and I gotta agree. Kellen Moore was asked about changing things up, and he simply said, we can't lose the good, but he said there will be tweaks and changes from not just last year, but recent years without him. One of the biggest topics, which was asked a couple times in different ways, was about pre-snap motion. As we all know, Kellen Moore offenses normally in the top 10, and Nick Sirianni offenses are dead last. Eagles OC Kellen Moore on the benefit of using motion pre-snap, his exact words, it has always stuck with me. There are obviously advantages to it. I mean, can somebody tell Nick Sirianni that? Lastly, I love how Kellen Moore says Saquon Barkley is a premier running back. We have to try to utilize him as much as we can while understanding it's a long season. We're fortunate to have Kenny G, Will Shipley, and other guys behind him. But again, utilize him as much as we can. We understand it's a long season, but I do need to see Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, anybody who's talking offense, understand you got a Ferrari in the garage, bro. Go take it for a spin. That being said, when Saquon Barkley was first signed, there were reports that Kellen Moore was banging a table for him. You don't bang on the table for a guy and not use him. It's as simple as that. Speaking of a long season, Roger Goodell has floated an idea that eliminating one more preseason game combined with an 18-week NFL regular season schedule would allow the Super Bowl to be scheduled on President's Day weekend, thus creating a long holiday weekend for all of us to enjoy it. While I would honestly enjoy a long Super Bowl weekend, you got to think of the players. The injuries are already piling up. We only have 2 preseason games. We moved it up to 17. Now you want to go to 18? Let me know what y'all think about that. And last but not least, I saw this on Fox NFL podcast, NFC playoff prediction, wild card round. They got the Eagles with a first round bye. This is a way too early prediction, but let me know your thoughts. Eagles first round bye. You got the Niners taking on the Bears, the Lions taking on the Cowboys, and the Packers taking on the Falcons. They're the seeds. Let me know your thoughts. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Tall Podcast. Do your boy a favor and hit that like, subscribe if you are new, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos or when we go live. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Leave your thoughts. Drop the muscle emoji. I absolutely love hearing from y'all. We out.